welcome everybody. It's your boy, the Business Owner. We're here on another episode of VSW Podcast. Today, we got a very special guest in the house, Joe Salera. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, you're most welcome. And sorry, everybody, I forgot to introduce. As always, with me, the Mrs.
Hello. How are you, Mrs.?
And she does her own segment. I will warn you. She does 5 with the missus, where she'll ask 5 questions at random. I don't know what they're going to be. She knows, and she never tells me what they're going to be. So at some point in the show, we are going to be doing that. But welcome aboard again. I've been seeing the posts. I see you doing a lot of posting. You're in the restaurant.
Yes.
You're making some noise. I want to learn.
I'm trying to
to
stomp my way through.
I want to soak it all in.
We are a wrestling organization out of Revere, Mass. I'm a local Medford guy, and we have some local talent, and we have some talent coming in from all over parts of Canada, all over the United States, and we're going to do a lot of production. A lot of production work is going to go into it. We have live bands playing. So our first event we have appearing live is the MSF band. They're going to be performing live, and we're going to have our special DJ opening up the show. Elliot Ness is going to be our guest DJ. So there's a couple of little hints of surprises for you coming forward. So
nice.
Some little teasers. Maybe I'll give you some more teasers throughout the show.
Now, when you say organization, it makes it sound so much more business-like than a promotion. So you're really bringing that kind of whole entertainment package.
Yeah, we do entertainment shows for local schools. We do them for organizations all throughout the state. We're going to be running VFW halls for the veterans. All our shows that run in the veterans halls. The veterans in under 12 always enter free. Veterans never pay for any shows, no matter where we are. Kids are always free, no matter where we are. We try to do fundraising, not fundraiser. We have fundraisers where we bring in magic shows and parties, and we just bring the entertainment. We bring blow-ups. We can have a whole festival throughout the course of a day between wrestling shows and comedy shows and entertainment and magic shows. We just want to kind of be that company that's out there, that's on top of the game. We're going to have up close and personal commentating for the audience, as well as our broadcasted out network that we will be running through.
Now, are you looking like an IWTV kind of deal, or going something with your own network?
I'm working a deal with one of my business partners now. We're trying to get on the East Coast network. So that's going to be one of our adventures. We're looking into a few other networks as far as venturing out, so we can broaden our horizons to just capture an audience that we're more out there, more visible for the communities, more driven towards helping communities out, helping with veterans. All our shows will be driven by a company that I'm working with called Geek Bar. It's geek.bar. They host shows where we go around to local bars and local communities, and the average person doesn't really want to go into a bar, into a comic book store / memorabilia store. So we bring that aspect to the locals. So you can go to your local bar with your friends, hang out. You can turn around and we'll have tables set up where you can purchase wrestling figures and magazines and comic books and just stuff that the average guy just doesn't want to stop on the way home at a comic store. If they can go to the bar and enjoy the same aspect. And then we're going to be running meet and greets on all the pay-per-views. So on the 5th, we're going to be having a meet and greet. Details of that will be coming out soon. So you'll be able to come meet and greet. and we're gonna run the pay-per-view Bad Blood that night. So it's gonna be a very exciting night.
I like
And
it
we
because, like like I said, you're putting a lot of production. You're talking a lot of different ventures into one, thing, pro wrestling, and you don't see that a
yes,
lot on the scene. Yes, you got a lot of pro wrestling promotions. Like I said, they're running shows, they're running monthly shows, but they're not bringing all these other aspects of entertainment into their wrestling. At least not on the indie scene. I mean, you're talking almost like WWE level shit on some of this stuff.
I mean that's where my influence came from. I have strong um, ECW backing. I originally started doing this in 1998 with a push from many wrestlers from that era, including Sabu, Taz. They had a big influence in my original name of my company was Beantown Extreme Wrestling, and it wasn't fitting to broaden the schools and the general public. So we rebranded in 2020, and that's when we came up with Beantown Wrestling Alliance.
Yeah, because
And
I'm a hardcore
unfortunately,
fan, but everybody, it's not for everybody that hardcore scene. And when you're
right,
talking about 98, 2000s, the early 2000s, everybody
it
was
worked.
that. Yeah, ECW over there,
Right.
XPW
Everyone
over there.
had that
Everybody wanted
extreme.
to do that.
Right.
But
So we're working with some local trainers in the area. I work with Belltime training facility. I
very
work
good.
with Bo Douglas. He's one of my head trainers. So we work closely
He's
with
a
that
top
company.
trainer. He's like a top trainer in New England, honestly. Really
Yes,
keeping his
he's one
legacy
of the top
alive.
trainers.
Um,
Yes,
one of my favorite
he's
wrestlers actually came out of him, and that's Alec Price. And that kid just
oh, of course.
he is like next level wrestling, and he coming from there and doing what he does.
Yes.
Not to say there's many great wrestlers that have come out of belt time. A lot of my interviews, I'll do them. I'm like, 9 out of 10, they'll be like, "Oh, where'd you train?" "Oh, I came out of belt time." And like, they're on IWTV, they're going across the country, they're doing all this cool stuff. So it's like people are getting out there. Very
Well,
good school.
that's a lot of my influences. This first card that we have, I put a lot of heart and a lot of soul and a lot of thinking into how can I build this card up and make this something that no one has seen before. I want it to pop. I want it to be an experience. So there's going to be two special main events of the evening. That's not really, you don't see these type of matches anymore on this level. And we have a lot of surprises going on. I have a surprise commentator that we can talk about that if you'd like, but
Most
we can
definitely, yeah. You
we
definitely can discuss that.
you can if you want to reveal that one you can.
Well, I was asked prior to this interview to be the commentator for you, and I humbly agree. I would love to do it. I think it'll be a fun thing. It's something that I've always wanted to do. I've done some, and growing up for me, wrestling. I grew up with that age or an era of like Bobby the Brain and Jesse
Right.
Ventura and all these great commentators that would just drive that story. Like I could watch wrestling with the TV like no picture and just listening to the guys talk.
Right. You
And,
want to hear the story develop. You want to see it. You want to be able to walk in the other room and still know what's going on. And
yeah,
that's, what we're trying to develop, that up close and personal commentating, put it right up there at the ring.
and you need to
A
get
lot of these
someone that's
indie
going to be able
companies
to
that you
get
see.
excited. You want the people
Yeah.
to be excited. Listen, get them involved.
And then we
Get them
can,
behind.
the both of you can come on with your podcast. You're more than welcome to run your podcast right out of our shows. Welcome to that. And I think this would be a great little venture for you, for us to have you on as our commentator moving forward. I think this would really be a great asset to our company.
Definitely, I agree.
Congratulations. What a great opportunity.
Thank you,
High
thank you.
five.
And you
So,
can always send talent this way. They want to be interviewed, especially the
of
students. They love
course, yeah,
hearing
we'll set
talent,
up something.
get their names out there. You can push shows. I love all that. This is great.
You
Yeah,
actually
I'm
are
excited.
interviewing. You are interviewing this week one of my gentlemen that is going to be on my show, Billy Vox.
Oh, I love Billy.
So Billy
Buddy
will be on our
Billy.
show.
He is fun. We got to see him not too long ago in Watertown. He came and wrestled down. Well, he was doing guest referee, and he ended up wrestling a little bit. What a pleasure, though.
Before they retired the Era of Violence, he was actually scheduled to come to my show before my unfortunate happenings that happened, and we had to rebrand. But yeah, he was scheduled to come in. So I was glad with that he's still around and able to come down and compete. He's an asset to the company.
Yeah, I like him a lot. And he's a good wrestler. I know he doesn't do a lot of bookings, many,
No,
but
he keeps himself on a tight little. So it's great that I have him coming in with us this time,
that's great.
and a
You
few
know,
other things, few other surprises we have. We'll let that flavor up and we'll let that stir a little,
yeah,
and
yeah.
maybe we'll send one of our representatives to have a one-on-one with you in a couple of weeks to keep you updated on any new progress that we have coming on.
Yeah, definitely. I really like how much work and effort though you're really putting into it. I think that's what
Yeah,
really is really grabbed me. I see you out there, like I said, posting. You're socially active. That is great, but you're putting a lot of work and effort. Into this. You got a lot of people.
I've been
Not a lot.
putting.
I mean, we have good promotions in New England. I'm not going to say we don't. We have the best in the world, but
We do.
there will be some times in general that people just they'll open up a promotion right away, or you know they'll want to do something for their friends or for their boys or whatever it is, and they open the
Right.
promotion up, and it's not very well for the right reason. And it runs successfully, or maybe once or twice, and then it kind of dies down, and nobody really puts any effort into it after that first or second show. I don't see that here. I see, you're planning for the future. You plan with the right crew. You're trying to really, nail everything down
Right.
as far
You
as
have a
the
structure and
plan.
how you want your production and how you want your presentation to be. Everyone lives to their standards. Everyone has their level of accomplishment that they want. And I see myself, up there, you know, could I compete with WWE and AWE? Who knows? But you never, if you don't try, you're never going to know if you can, right?
No, you're gonna,
So,
you want to take it to, as far as
so
you can go with it. You give it your best.
when I decided to put this card together for October 3rd, I climbed up the highest mountain and I said to my wife, I'm going to do a backflip off of this mountain. I said, I'm either going to make it or I'm not. I said, let's see what happens October 4th. That's when I'll know if I died or not.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes
So,
you gotta.
I'm putting blood, sweat, and tears into everything going into this one show to push myself to proceed to hopefully grab the attention of everyone, and they want to see more and they want to come back in the following month and the following month after that, and they want more and they want to see more, and they'll see the content building up. So it's really going to be something that's truly going to be something that everyone's going to grasp onto the edge of their seats week after week, month after month, to see what's new, what is coming out of BWA this week.
And I think that's gonna be, another asset to the indie scene in general. I mean,
Right.
we have, like
And
I said, a very rich scene as it is, and bringing another, prominent promotion. There's nothing wrong with that.
right, and where I'm going
Good
to
promotion,
have
nothing wrong with that.
and where we're going to have the school and we're going to have the build of our local talent, then we'll be building this local New England talent to be able to spread out there, just like all these other states and these other jurisdictions have for the past, how many hundreds of years, pretty much. I mean,
Yeah,
you got a lot that comes out of New England, but you have more that comes out of the rest of the world.
well,
So
that's
we
the
need
thing. I
to
mean, a
be
lot of people.
competitive.
There's a lot of people though that they work in New England and they get cozy in New England, they stay in New England too. Because it's a
Right.
rich wrestling area. You don't have to travel really outside the New England area to be successful. But if you want to get to that next level, if you want to get on TV, you got to travel. And if you
You
travel as
have to
far as
travel.
worldwide, then you travel worldwide. You go to, you take those shows in Germany, you take those shows in Finland, you take those shows in, Mexico, and you just go with it if you want to get your name really up. But you can be successful just working New England shows because we have, from Limitless up in Maine all the way down to Worcester's,
Oh
beyond.
yeah.
We have named shows with great talent, but, a lot of,
Yeah, we're looking, after the first of the year, we're going to look to expand out of Revere and look to do some shows. I was, looking out down in the South Shore yesterday at a couple of venues that's a possibility. So, I have a strong women's division that we'd like to showcase and bring out and, showcase the talent that we have. If that's, rebranding a whole women's division and letting them run a whole show. If that's what we accomplish from this, that would be an amazing feat. You don't see that. You see a few indie women, you see a few of them mixing it up, but to have a strong backing that we have right now, it's phenomenal how we have come together.
That would be pretty amazing.
It's
Yeah.
the ladies of Beantown. It's really gonna, we're gonna see what we can run with that. And
and that's the great thing, we have all that. Like I said, we have the talent locally, and I like that. I keep hearing you say that you're bringing in, a lot of the local talent. Yes, you're going to bring some outside people. You're going to fly people in, but
yeah,
for the most part, it's going to be.
for the most part, it will be our local grown, homegrown talent, New England talent, where they can have their family and their friends actually be able to come to the shows and not be, 7,000 miles away and they have to watch them on a video, you know, wherever someone recorded it from.
Yeah,
A
that's
lot of these people
really
don't get to showcase, and I have some talent that I have coming in that, they're second generation wrestlers. So this is exciting for their family to see them now. They did the whole circuit growing up, husband, wife, and now they're watching their daughter run through this whole experience. So it's a really great experience to have Ari Alexander on Thursday, October 3rd. Her father was a veteran in the indie. So it's really, she's going to showcase, the women's division for us.
And I remember that being, very prominent. You don't hear about it much anymore, but growing up, you always heard it very prominent. Second generation stars coming in, and they would talk
Right.
about their dads or their uncles or whoever that was in there. And now from for the most part, it's been like kind of brought down to just the Sanoa family and the bloodline, and there's a few other families riding around.
Yeah,
But at one
it's
point, you had the Hearts, you had all these people running around,
right.
and I like that. I like when you hear on the indie scene, you talk to people like, yeah, my father was, a wrestler on the indie scene.
Yeah,
My
he was,
father did that.
his name
And,
was Vladimir Alexander.
that's awesome. And to get that in there, and then to not only do what your dad was doing, and the people that remember him, but now you have
Right.
another generation of wrestlers,
Just to
wrestling
look,
fans.
I bet you the moment he seen her on AEW, was probably a sparkle in his eyes, like, my daughter made it. My daughter's there. That's got to be, the most loyal and most loving thing for a parent to see. Is someone, their child succeed and do something that they did and they have a passion for.
And it's a proud moment. I mean, I'm a dad too, and I always have these proud dad moments. My kid's 6 now, but he does his things. He just did something at camp. You go out there, you watch, but
Oh yeah.
you see it on the indie scenes all the time. You see, the wrestlers' parents are in the fans, and they're watching it. You can just see it in their eye. They love seeing it. Their kids succeed. Who
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
see their kids succeed? But we're in a good era of wrestling where it's kind of it's not easy to succeed, but if you put in the work, it can be easy.
Right.
You know, those doors are open to get to that next level. Those doors to get onto AEW are there. The doors to get onto
Yes.
they're open. It's just like I said, you got to put in the effort. Where before the doors were closed, you had to put in the effort, and maybe you'd squeeze in. The doors are definitely open. It's just a matter of how much work you're willing to put in, how much dedication.
Oh yeah.
How can you make yourself
Oh,
better? How can you
definitely. You put the dedication, you put your time in.
And you see that though. You
And
see kids, they're on the scene, in a month, and then like a year and a half, 2 years later, they're on TV.
yeah. And there's some out there on the indie scene right now that are just making a name for themselves. That you just truly see them in second generations. There's a few of them out there, running around this scene right now. Seen a couple of them running through on last Friday night at a show I went to. Very impressive. They know
You
where
go to,
they're at.
so you go to a lot of shows. You check out the scene.
I do. I try to make it a point to get to as many shows as I can. Not so much to see how they run their shows or anything, just to see the vibe and just to see the look on people's face when you see wrestlers that they've never seen before come through. And especially the show I was at Friday night, there was some new guys that came in the area, and that people are running through the place like, oh, did you see him? I've never seen him before. I've never seen her. So you get a lot of good vibes off of a lot of, and then ever since I've really started to promote my company more now, I've had a lot of people reaching out to me, asking me, let me know if you have any spots in your shows. I'd love to come on and work with you. So we're trying to, you know, work around everyone and make everyone happy. So we have a variety of talent, a variety of fresh new faces, but also keeping that vibe of the old school, and have a little of both, if you'd
Well, that's
say.
the thing. It's hard because the scene. I mean, there's no contract, so I mean, guys gonna
Right.
go every promotion. The people that want it, they're gonna work every show they can.
Right.
Eventually,
You
if you
see
go
some
to every
guys out
show,
there.
you do. You're gonna start to see the same matches over and over. There might be a little different variations, but eventually, So it's good to kind of go out there and see what's going on, so you can be a little different or do something a little different.
Right.
You don't want to be the same.
Right. And you also you don't want to cap on what they do. You don't want to jump on what they're doing, even though if it's an idea that you come up with and you think in your head that, oh, this is my idea, you might go outside of your little bubble that you're in, go to one of these shows and be like, oh, wow, they've been doing this a lot longer than I thought was even a thing. So you have to
Yeah.
change up your approach on how you do stuff because you don't want to step on each other's toes out here either.
No,
Especially, when you're looking for new venues and you find out that another company is working that show or that venue per se, then you step back and you say, okay, there's already another company in here. Let me find another venue to work.
so
And
it's still
you
very.
should.
So would you say it's still kind of territorial like that? If someone's working a show,
Yeah, it's
they don't
it's
want
very
others in there.
territorial. And you
Really?
don't want to step on other people's toes. You don't want to book your event somewhere that another event would be running their shows because it's just bad business.
Yeah.
No, I get that, but I do see the business kind of changing, in the where you do got a lot of cross promotions now working together. Like you'll see
Oh yeah,
in
we
exchange,
actually work with a couple of companies on
you
cross
know.
promotions. So you will see when you see our shows and when we do work our shows, you will see other companies, and we do promote them companies coming in. We'll highlight and showcase those matches, and
Yeah, no, and it's just it makes it easy because I mean, unfortunately, sometimes I mean, and you can't even help it. You'll have some days you have like 3 shows running.
oh
And
yeah.
it's just the way it goes. But for the most part, people try to talk to us so that they can, they're not the fans don't gotta get split down the middle of where they're gonna go on a Saturday night.
There's some guys that have wrestled on a 2 p.m. show and ran out the door to get to a 6 p.m. show 3 states away.
Oh yeah, I mean, 2 Saturdays ago, a couple Saturdays ago, I saw Anthony Green. He was out there. He was in Worcester, and he came to Rad Pro out in Amesbury. Then he went right out to EWA in Maine. And he did
Yes.
all 3 shows just like that, one day. You know, and that's the life of an indie wrestler. It's the life of a pro wrestler. You're out there grinding.
Right.
It's not easy. But he has
So,
a
yeah.
name, and he's made a name for himself. He's put in the work to get to that next level. He's been to WWE, he's been to
Right.
AEW. He's over in Noah making a name for himself after the tag titles. Like, you put in the effort, you get the results.
Yeah. I mean, there's who's that kid? Daniel Powers. Like, he's
Yep.
making a name for himself out there.
Doing awesome work out there.
Oh my God, he's like out there. He's putting a name for himself. He's putting a mark out there. He's making a name for himself in this business. He sparked my attention, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Right now we're in a really good place at pro wrestling because we have a lot of good vets on the scene.
Yes.
And then we
A
also
lot of
have
them.
a really good fresh talent, and the vets work well with the fresh talent. No one's like gatekeeping or saying, tell people, now we're not going to give you our spots. I'm seeing vets put people over. I'm seeing
Yeah.
that happen, and that's something that didn't happen before. Before people were
No.
holding on to their spots, they were dead.
Yeah, the scene has definitely evolved. It's not the same old, we have to give it to this person because they've been around for this long. And it's evolved to where the talent now is basing on how the company is structuring now. So you're not running off of that old talent. You're running off of the new and upbeat generations.
Yeah.
They're putting big bets on everything that's coming out now. The new. So
Well,
we gotta
they're the ones
we
making
gotta preserve our. We need to preserve our veteran wrestlers also, and welcome them in when they wanna run shows. And I mean, look at last week, 88 years old, and he's winning a match. Still, oldest guy to be in a ring.
I mean, they're out there. People are still
It's
wrestling. They're wrestling later and longer than ever because people are now taking care of themselves better than ever.
right.
They're no longer rock star mentality. Now they're acting like athletes. And I mean, taking care of your body.
Right. They're not just going from show to show, driving from car to car and, like beating their bodies up. They're actually going to performance center. They're going training. They're working their bodies. Yeah.
Not making a difference. But this is the part of the segment where I hand it over to the missus.
All right, you ready?
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right. The first question is, what is
What is the what?
your most used emoji?
Would have to be the unicorn. I am known as Joe the Unicorn. It's something that has stuck with me. I collect unicorns. So, yeah, I would have to say the unicorn emoji is probably my most used.
That is pretty cool. I like that. Okay, you ready for the next one?
I'm ready.
Okay, so my next question is, what is a pizza topping that most people hate but you secretly love?
Black olives. I love a good black olive and pepperoni pizza. That is my ultimate favorite.
Now we're talking.
So good. Now I want pizza.
I actually just had pizza yesterday from Bianchi's down Revere Beach.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so good.
Do you have any pets?
I do. I have a ball python that his name is Chong or Cheech. He gets called either or. And I have two bearded dragons. One, his name is Toothless from the movie How to Train Your Dragon.
My kid would love that. He's obsessed with Toothless and the dance he does. I don't know.
And I have a little baby dragon that I just got that her name is Phoenix. And then I have my puppy Charlie that we've had for about 13 years now. But to us, he's still a little puppy. So, yeah, I have a lot of pets. My pets usually are with me. I was actually debating whether to bring one of them on camera with me today. And I was rushing around and I didn't end up grabbing him. But You usually will see me always either have the snake around my neck or dragging on my shoulder.
You got to bring the snake to the show.
I'm thinking about it. It was definitely going to be an homage to Jake the Snake.
Right? I remember that stuff. I got a funny story about snakes. I'll tell you after.
Okay, are you ready for my next one?
I'm ready.
Okay. What would your elevator pitch be to aliens on why they should abduct
Because I am beautiful. I am elaborate. And I am the unicorn. I am magical. And I bring peace, joy, and love to everyone.
you? Great answer. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, and my last question is breakfast for dinner, yes or no? And what do we have?
Dinner. And we were having breakfast food.
Yeah.
We will do fried eggs, bacon, crispy, hash browns, and a nice grilled bagel. And that would be my perfect meal right there.
Are your hash browns crispy too, like the bacon?
Oh, they have to be crispy.
Yes.
You gotta be Italian.
Oh, I'm 100% Italian.
I was gonna say because only us Italians like everything crispy. Some people like certain
everything's
things.
crispy.
Italians,
I am
everything's
100%.
crisp.
I am 50% Sicilian and 50% Genovese.
There we go. There we go.
So my family came here from Italy back in the 1920s.
I'm not sure if we were 20s a little bit later. We came from
My
northern
family,
Italy.
when they came here from Italy, my family actually owned Boston Pasta.
Okay.
And we also owned Hub Fabric. They both used to be in Everett.
Okay.
So those were two companies from my grandfather's side of the family and my grandmother's side of the family. And then we owned, my aunt and uncle owned the Tremont Villa over in Everett up until like the 90s, until they sold the land and built a school there. So that was a huge function. So I've been in the entertainment business almost my whole life. I used to be a palace dancer. I was actually on a show called Dance Jam 89 with Billy Costa.
Nice.
So, yeah, I actually have been in entertainment for a while. And it's been a passion of mine to get the wrestling going. So I'm hoping that this is the way of bringing it all together. My entertainment, my passion for entertaining and bringing positivity, hope, and whatever I can spread joy to, and making this the best company that we can possibly have.
You know, it sounds like you're doing it the right way. You know, me too.
I'm
my
trying.
family, you know, when my grandparents came over from Italy, we're from northern Italy, up in our little mountain town, up about 30 minutes from Rome. But they came, they worked factory jobs and stuff, and did construction, this and that. But yeah, you know, I always like to, you know, I could tell when I meet some of the time because the way they, you know, you eat, the way you like your food cooked, everything, it's just a certain way. It's different. Even I could tell right when you said about the olives in the pizza and the pepperoni. I could tell right then and there.
There's nothing like a good eggplant or veal palm. I'm not crazy on the eggplant, but you got to have the veal palm.
I had eggplant today. My dad made veal poo. He did it like greasy with like just real fresh tomato, fresh mozzarella. Just put in the oven, let it cook. Pulled it out.
You got to have the fresh mozzarella, the oil with the crispy bread.
Oh yeah, it's a feast every Sunday. Still is.
See, now I need to go to the restaurant and go have some food.
Right. I hope you're gonna have good concessions now at the show too. That's another aspect.
We actually. I can tell you that we have Daddy's Burgers coming there. It's a food truck, and they do an array of different burgers. So it's a whole feast of over 120 different varieties of burgers that you can get.
Wow.
So they'll be there for the whole entire event.
Nice. That makes it fun. You can go
And
to a
then we
show.
got
You don't
some,
have to starve yourself because some shows you go, there's only snacks, and then like after you're stuck just eating McDonald's.
and there'll be a cash bar, and then we'll have some snacks inside for, for the kiddos and the
Yeah,
adults that like to have snacks while they're, everyone needs something in their hand while they're watching a wrestling show. You need something to spill and jump when the excitement gets crazy.
it is. Yeah, I mean, me personally, I don't mind eating because, like I said, usually the time of show is time to eat. If I wait till after, then I'm stuck with a fast food joint.
Right?
Before, it's like
So,
I get tired right before if I eat a good meal. I'm like, I don't even want to go now. I want to go back home and go to bed.
you
So,
see,
but
and
right in the
that's
show,
another thing.
eat
That's another one
something
of my
good.
passions is food and cooking. So after this first event, I'll be we have a full range of the kitchen, so we'll be, making our own foods. We'll be, a self-contained entertainment company where we'll be self-derived of everything.
I like that though. It's like the whole package deal, and somebody can
Yeah,
bring
you
you
get
in
the
and
whole
do that.
package when you come there.
Someone out in, let's say somewhere in Mass
You know,
wants to have this show for their function show. They got 300 something employees. They want to put on the show. You can bring your whole company in there, put on
oh,
a
we
night
bring the
to
whole thing as
remember.
far as, yeah,
You
we have
know,
the table settings. We have all the entertainment, the lighting, the staging, everything. So we are a all inclusive entertainment business.
that's impressive. That's impressive.
Yeah,
So I, so I
it's the
have to say, I do.
Beantown. So the name of the whole organization is Beantown Entertainment Trio, which brings the music, the wrestling, and the entertainment all together.
Awesome. I love
So
that.
it's the anagram would be like bet, because these kids
Yeah,
these days,
you can
yeah,
bet on B. You
you
can
can
bet
bet
on
on
you.
it. You can bet
um,
on us to be the best that we can be.
right? I'm excited for this. Like I said, I always like to see new shows, new promotions, and when I started seeing the things, I said I have to see what's going on because there's always something new in the scene, and when it comes in, it just
Yeah.
everything that comes in changes the landscape.
It does. Everything helps the business. It helps you as a business look at another one coming in and saying, "Oh, I need to step up my game because there's another company coming in." And then in turn, it just helps everyone grow even more.
It does. It really does, and I like seeing that. It's not even like really a competition. It's just like because at some point you end up starting to be in competition with yourself. You want to do your next show better than your last show. You want to one up yourself,
Exactly.
even not even anybody else. Forget about them. Just you want to make the crowd pop even louder. You want the kids and everybody talking even longer. You want everything going, even better. So you keep putting more and more. And that's what makes it
Exactly.
fun. How big can you make it? How big can you get it? And the sky's the limit. There is no limit really
Right.
on what you can do.
I mean, our hope is to fill that place with standing room only. If that's what it is, I'll keep buying more chairs, and if I could extend the building and make a contract with the company to build that building out, that's what we got to do.
Hey, why not? Why
That's
not? Hey, I
you
do owe you that. I do owe you a story with the snake. So, maybe a few more years and a couple years ago, I was on Facebook and a friend was giving away 3 ball pythons, and I have no idea about snakes, but I didn't want to see them, just go anywhere. So I said, yeah, I'll take them. They meet me on the highway. They give me these 3 very large tanks. These snakes are huge. These snakes are huge.
oh
Now,
boy.
I don't know much about snakes, but I know enough. So I come home. I said, I got to go get food and stuff. So I put the snakes in my room, put the cage, shut the cage, shut everything down. And I go about my business. I go to, do some errands. And then I was going to Petco. I get a call from my parents and they're like, hey, what's with these cages? I said, oh, I got some snakes from, somebody gave me snakes. Somebody gave you what? There's some snakes. She goes, well, we got a problem here. First of all, there's nothing in these cages.
Oh my goodness.
I said, what you mean? I said, well, there's nothing in there. And then she starts screaming a blood-curdling scream. And I said, what's wrong? One of the pythons was crawling up the wall. So she had
Oh
it.
my goodness.
So I had to, call one of my friends that knew how to deal with critters because nobody else would come out.
No.
We ended up corralling one back in. One was in my speaker. He ended up coiling himself. We had to bring the speaker and everything. Brought everything to Petco. They ended up taking it for us. I just
Oh
didn't know
my
what to do. But
goodness.
I guess I was supposed to actually put a lock on it.
Yeah.
They didn't tell me that they could kick out. So it was
No,
actually able
they're
to stand
pretty
and push
strong.
out. Yeah, and push off the top. And once it did that, they all just got out. No, that was the one and done with the snakes. I don't do snakes anymore.
Thank you. I'm glad.
I like them, but
Yes.
I don't want them crawling around the house.
No. I agree.
I woke up one night. I look over at the tank. This is when I had it in my bedroom. And I'm going, he's not in there. So I'm like looking around. I'm like, maybe I just don't see him. I look in his house. I'm like, oh boy. He had gotten out and it probably was I caught it probably within 5 minutes. And he was going against the back wall in the corner of my room, just trying to like snake around. I look at him. I'm like, what are you doing? Put him back in the cage. And then I had to put extra weight on the top. But yeah, I have right now, there's probably 50 pounds sitting on top of his cage because I had 20 pounds on there and he lifted that up.
Yeah, I didn't know about the weights. Nobody told me that part of it. They just said, if you close the gate, it should be good. Okay, cool. I didn't put nothing on top.
How much does he weigh now?
He probably weighs about 15 pounds. He's probably about 4 feet long.
Wow.
And my biggest dragon's probably 3 feet long. And the baby's only tiny. She's a little baby.
That's great.
But maybe when we do the next interview, I'll bring them on camera.
Yeah.
And we can do
And then I'll have to bring this.
off.
Then I'll have to bring the 6-year-old on. He'll be dying to see that. He's in love with axolotls.
Yes.
He's dying. He's gonna get me to get one before the end of the
Who
year.
my friend has those.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I'll have to have you over and come on my podcast over here, and you can bring your son and check out my little area down here, and your son
Yeah.
can hang out with my animals.
We love it.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
So let me ask you
definitely.
something. So October 3rd, right? That's gonna be the show. How
Yep.
can folks buy tickets now for that?
You can find me on Facebook on my it's Beantown Wrestling Alliance on Facebook. It's a page. You can get a link in there for the tickets, but it's through Eventbrite. So if you actually go through the Eventbrite, you can find it if you link up with Eventbrite and you type in Beachmont Rumble. It will come up on there. And you can also go on YouTube and it's at beantown.wrestling. And we're also on TikTok at beantown.wrestling. And we are on Twitch, and that's where we'll be doing some of our matches. We'll do some previews, some after post matches through our Twitch channel, which is also Beantown_wrestling. So we'll get all those socials out, and we'll get that all put out the day of the shows, and we'll have that all links to your podcast that we'll do and your commentating that welcome aboard on.
Thank you. I'm very excited for that. Especially
I truly am. This is going to be, this is just more puzzle pieces that we are adding to this solid core going through and going forward that we're really going to have a nice base.
And like I said, nothing against anybody else, but I mean, I've been offered some gigs before, and I've kind of, just kind of passed by just because I didn't think people were taking it as serious as I would take it. And I take, I have a lot of fun in wrestling, doing my podcast, interviewing guys and girls of the wrestlers. I love going to shows. I love having a good time. But at the end of the day, I really take the professionalism very serious because it's a profession. People are out there trying to make a living on it. Whether it's a full-time.
First impression to me is totally everything. And, you see a lot of people in this business. You meet a lot of people on your way to make what you have, and it's been a roller coaster of people I've met, and
it is. I mean, some people they split the personality, and the wrestlers this and that. Some people they wrestle 24/7.
Oh yeah, some people live from the time they wake up to the time they go to bed. They're in their persona.
I got my name. I'm Versace Stoney. I do my thing. it's an extension of myself. I changed my name back in 2020 because there's a lot of hate going on in the world, and people started targeting me personally and my kids. So I was like, you know what? Screw all that. I'm just going under a
Yeah.
pseudonym like anybody else. I don't want to deal with it. I wasn't doing anything wrong per se. Just I didn't want to be out there like that because I started to get a lot of followers, a lot of subs, a lot of things.
Oh,
Um,
I'm getting it now with having my personal name all out here and representing Beantown wrestling with my name attached to it. It's in the end, it's kind of tough. You got to decide what you're gonna do.
But I have to
You know.
understand that sometimes you need to leave your wrestling t-shirts at home, dress up a little bit, and you know, believe it or not, you
Yeah.
have other stuff.
oh, I do.
Okay,
I do, and you can see my pictures. You can see, when we go out to dinner and stuff. I'm not going in, a local T-shirt, but like you said, just how you present yourself, how people talk, how people engage. How do you look at the industry? Is this something that you're looking to try to just work people up for one or two shows to make the money and bounce, or is this something you have a passion
Oh no, this
on?
is this is
You know what I'm
something
saying?
I want to see a future with, so I can. I mean, I have 4 boys, so
Yeah.
I'd love to hand this off to one of them and say, this is something that we started together with you. Here you continue this legacy on. Because we face it, we're not all on this earth forever.
No, exactly,
So
and that's great. But these are the things I look at when I do look at who I'm doing business. What am I doing in the indie? Who do I talk to? Who am I
and
interviewing?
that's when I've been out here looking for other companies to work with and other companies to possibly merge and do some work with. And it is very very up and down. On some companies just want to do a basic just to get through. Other people want to put the full production, full everything. So it is a very, some guys just want to put a show on just so they can make a couple of dollars to get them to the next time they do a show.
Yeah, I mean it's a mixed
It's
business, and you can't fault anybody. But everybody's got a little kind of a different
right.
budget. Everybody's in it for the different reason. But just what I like to do and work with, I like people that are wholesome. I like people that are elevate the scene, elevate the indie scene, make it a better place to view as a
Yes.
fan, better view place as a wrestler coming in, a better place for the wrestlers that are here. These are the things again I look at. I take the indie scene personally because that's what sparks my interest. Granted, I grew
Right.
up,
With my
like I
with
said,
my
early
local
era.
right. That's how I want to be with my local talent. So when you have a crowd that's coming back month after month after month or bi-weekly, however we end up running this, they want to see sometimes them same faces. They
Yeah,
want to see a storyline with this and what's happening with that. And they want to be able to look them up on social media and be able to follow them through the social media path and have them say, I'm coming back to Revere this date. And then they go there, they see them there, and they continue that follow in that storyline that they're working and developing. And it's not just come in, set a card for the night, and then the next time you come in you have a totally different card with a whole bunch of different people. I want that home base feel that I have with a majority of my wrestlers right now. My workers are a local, and they are going to stay on, and they're going to work with us and develop from us. They were born and bred, like I said, right from Mr. Douglas. So, they want to stay in the area. They want to be Boston. They want to represent this area.
I like that. I like going to shows, and I hear people, from Boston, Massachusetts, and you hear them, and you
Right.
know who they are, and it's like, oh, okay, they're putting that on the map. Because granted, yes, there's a lot of people in New England, but not
I
necessarily in the Boston area. Everything for me is like North Shore or South Shore. There's nothing really in Boston. I'm happy that there's a show, October 5th. The only thing I see out in Boston once in a while is UFO shows. That's about it.
right.
In the
And
area,
and
not much.
UFO is going to be right. And UFO's rebranding too, and they're going to be coming out different. You know.
But these were the shows that have been around in that area, not too much in the city. That runs
Right.
consecutively, consistently, and brings that entertainment factor and brings all the levels. So this is very exciting for the Boston area, for the indie scene, for everything. I'm very excited for October 3rd.
Yeah.
And I do suggest people
And
going out.
Revere. And you got to remember too, back in the late '90s, Revere was the home of VCW when they were in this area.
Yep.
They came here, they developed here, they worked out of the Wonderland Ballroom for years.
They did, and
So
there's
just
gonna
to
be
have
they're gonna
that,
have fans coming back, even the still, the people that are still living in Revere. Remember that they're gonna come out. They're gonna come out and check it out.
oh yeah, you got to come and see the surprises we have.
Nostalgia is a
We got a lot
wonderful
up our
thing.
sleeves.
Well, I
Every one
recommend,
of us put
honestly, I recommend everybody coming out October 3rd. Go to Eventbrite,
yes,
grab your ticket.
please.
And what'd you say? Something about vets and kids are free?
Yes, veterans are always free to all our shows, and kids are under 12 are always free.
That's awesome.
That's great. That's great.
And
Yes.
people can obviously buy tickets at the door because there is a large majority that don't trust
Yes.
the internet.
I mean, our majority of ticket sales has always been at the door. I mean, a lot of people like to have a physical ticket in their hand versus buying a virtual ticket and just having it on their phone. So we will have, printed out tickets so they can keep and hold on to. That's kind of like a lot of people keep those, that's something that,
Oh yeah, souvenirs, man. Everything.
oh yeah, open up a box and they have, all their tickets from every past show they ever went to. I got a few of mine. I went to my very first concert was Michael Jackson back in the 80s.
Nice. That's worth something
So,
for me today. But I mean, that's a
yeah.
memory too. And like I said, I have WWE tickets. I went to what was it, '93 Royal Rumble. I'm Survivor Series. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
It was out in the Garden. I've been to some house shows, and I even keep my indie tickets now just because some of them look cool. They have
It
cool
is.
graphics. Everybody's
Not a
stepping
lot
up
of
their game.
a lot of companies don't do printout tickets. Even if you buy at the door, they just hand you, you hand the money and you get this little stub
There's a,
print that says ticket paid or whatever. We're gonna
there's a
take that
few
extra
that
step.
Yeah, there's a few that still mail them out. I know one like Limitless will mail them out. They got like the pictures of the wrestlers on there and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah.
You try to get them, then you get the guys that sign them. And that's the other thing I was just gonna say. We're almost out of time, but it's cool about the indie scene and getting these young guys and girls in there is, people can meet them at intermission. People can ask them
Yes,
questions. People
we'll
can get
have
close to them.
what
And talk.
we're gonna have meet and greets. And, you can come before the shows when the doors open at 6:30. Listen to some music, do some meet and greets with some of our wrestlers. And get to see them on a little, a lower level before they get into the ring and perform for them.
That's what
So
I
it'll
love
really
about
be
the indie
nice.
scene. You get to meet
Yeah.
the guys and girls in there, and you're not spending an arm and a leg either. You're not paying $500 a meet and greet.
And then after the wrestling shows ends, the band's gonna come back on. So anyone that would like to hang out, listen to the band, and socialize and just watch the inner works of how an indie ring and how it all gets broken down. Like the band's gonna be playing through the whole cleanup.
That's
So
going to
it's
be
gonna be an
awesome.
experience
I hope
that
you
the
have
fans
I hope
usually
you have
never
the
get to
cameras on
see.
that. You got to have the cameras on that too. That would be a
We're
cool
gonna
video.
record and film everything.
That
Yeah,
would
we're
be
gonna
cool.
film everything. So, and we work with the Medford High School's audio and visual department. So they're gonna come in and do some video work with us.
Awesome.
And yeah, so give them a little help. Their students will come in and do a little work, and it helps them out. It builds them up.
A lot of fun.
So we're gonna be we try to work with a lot of local organizations. Our first show will be sponsored by. We do a fundraiser for every show, so we give proceeds to a program. So our first one is actually, I don't know if you guys know Chad Epic.
Yep.
Yes.
He
I know
runs.
Chad very well.
So he runs a company that he just did, a nonprofit called Rubber Ducky Transportation and
Yep.
Rescue. So
Yep.
all the proceeds from our first event will go to his charity.
Oh, that's so
That's
So,
cool.
great.
yeah.
That guy does
So that's
wonders.
like
He goes
that's
across
like one
the
thing.
country, saving animals and stuff. Like he's
Oh, it's great.
hero,
He
man.
has an excellent out there what he does.
I
We
love me
love
some
Chad,
Chad Everett.
yeah.
Plus, he's one
So-
like the last greatest manager alive. So I mean,
So that's the last hint I'll give you on this little podcast for the night is Chad
Oh.
Epic will be in the house.
well, that's great.
That's
that means there's
exciting.
going to be some good shit for sale. I have to say, he's always got good crap.
Oh, well,
Um,
we're gonna have a lot of merchandise for sale. You'll be able to get anything from wrestlers to magazines to that intricate things that you never thought you'd ever find again.
awesome.
I have a lot of stuff in store.
Well,
A
I
lot
have
of
to
raffle
say,
prizes. Gonna do some games for the kids It's going to be fun. It's going to be very interactive.
Well, I'm very excited for this, and I can't wait to be a part of it.
I want
wait till
people
October
to
3rd.
walk out of there. I want people to walk out of there saying that they didn't just watch a wrestling show, that they watched an experience.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that's what our hope is, that everyone sees this as an entertainment experience like no other.
Well, thank you for coming on. I
So
really appreciate it.
that's how. Oh, thank
Yeah.
you for having me. I am so honored to be on your show.
And like I said,
really,
you know,
truly am.
October 3rd, looking excited to be part of the family here, really working with you. I can't wait. We'll keep
Yes.
in contact. We'll keep updates going. And, you know, again, for the people at home, October 3rd, get your tickets now. Eventbrite. Can't miss it. Can't miss it. It's going to be something spectacular. Thank you, Joe, for coming on. Thank you.
It's going to be at the
everybody at home.
VFW.
Oh, at the VFW.
The VFW 150 Bennington Street, Revere, Mass. Doors open at 6:30. So hope to see
6:30,
everyone there.
folks. You know, get there a little early, like he said. Get your meet and greets, meet some of the stars, see what's going on, buy some merch, support the indie scene. 'Cause that's what we're all about here, supporting indie wrestling. Thank you, everybody. Versace
And everyone
out.
gets to meet the Versace. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.